Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's me from the Bible Project. In this video, we're going to tell the story of Jonah and the fish. If you want to follow along with the text, you can read along with me in the NIV translation of the Bible, or you can listen along with me by clicking on the audio link below. Let's dive right into it. Jonah was a prophet of God who lived about 800 years before Jesus. Jonah's job was to call the people of Israel back to faithfulness to God, which they had a nasty habit of ignoring. So one day God told Jonah, "Get up, go to the great city of Nineveh and announce that the wicked city has only 3 days to turn from their wickedness, or I will do something awful to them." So Jonah did as God asked him, and he started telling everyone in Nineveh that God was going to destroy them in 3 days unless they turned from their wickedness. And guess what? They listened, and they repented. Jonah was like, "Great job, Ninevites. Maybe God won't destroy you after all." But God was like, "Wait, hold up, Jonah. You're supposed to be mad at me because I didn't destroy them. I told you to go and preach to them, and they repented. So that's good news, right?" Yeah, actually, no. Jonah wasn't happy at all. He was furious. He got super angry at the Ninevites for not getting destroyed, and even more mad at God for not keeping his word and destroying them. And Jonah tried to make himself feel better by running away from God, but wherever he went, God was there. So Jonah thought to himself, "Okay, I know what I have to do. I'm gone, run away really far away from God, and then I'll be happy again." So he got on a boat and sailed across the sea in the opposite direction of Nineveh, heading toward the rising sun in the east. And the further away he got from God, the happier he felt. But while he was in the middle of the ocean, violent storms started raging on the sea, threatening to destroy the boat and everyone on it. And when the sailors realized that the only way they were going to survive is if someone sacrificed themselves to calm God down. Jonah knew it was his fault that God was mad, and he also knew that he was the biggest guy on the boat. So he acted bravely and said, "Okay, I'll sacrifice myself so everyone else can live." But before anyone could touch him, a huge fish swallowed him whole, and Jonah was stuck inside the fish's belly for 3 days and 3 nights, with only total darkness for company. But after 3 long days, God told the fish to spit Jonah out on the beach. And thankfully the fish listened and did it. And when Jonah was finally free from the fish, he looked around and saw this big bush with a lot of leaves on it. And he said, "I wish I was dead and could get some shade under that bush." But you know what? God heard him and granted his wish and turned the bush into a big tree. And Jonah was happy under his new tree until God spoke again and asked, "Are you still mad at me, Jonah?" And Jonah was like, "Yes, I am mad at you, God, and I hate your guts." And God was like, "Oh, okay. Well, how would you feel if I spared another group of people from destruction?" And Jonah said, "Well, I guess I'd be pretty bummed about that." And God replied, "Well, guess what? I just spared the city of Nineveh and all the animals in it from destruction. You should probably go and check it out." So Jonah got up, started walking in the opposite direction, and headed toward the setting sun in the west toward Nineveh, where he discovered God's unconditional love for the world. So why does God tell us this story? Well, first, he wants us to learn from Jonah's bad example. Jonah was ungrateful and disobedient, complained, and he ran away instead of doing what God asked him to do. He blamed God instead of taking responsibility for his own mistakes. And most of all, he refused to forgive God for showing mercy to others. Now, we shouldn't follow Jonah's example. We should trust God, obey him, take responsibility for our actions, and thank God that he's merciful and quick to forgive. Second, God wants us to see how much he loves the world. It's just like Jonah. We don't always understand God's ways. Sometimes we think he's being unfair. Sometimes we wish someone else would suffer instead of us. But even when we mess up and deserve God's punishment, he is merciful and doesn't punish us the way we deserve. Instead, he sends us Jesus to die in our place so we can be forgiven and spend eternity with him. Now, many Christians struggle with God's unconditional love for the world, just like Jonah did. Some of us struggle to forgive people who have hurt us. Some of us blame God when bad things happen to us or people we love. And some of us are too afraid to share our faith because we re-afraid people won't respond the way we want them to. But God calls us to be more like Jesus than Jonah. Jesus had compassion for people, forgave people who hated him, and he reached out to people who didn't deserve it. That's who we're called to be. This story reminds us that God's love is bigger than our feelings. So we should learn from Jonah's example and choose faith over fear, obedience over complaining, gratitude over blaming, and forgiveness over resentment. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.